Let's see what happens.
What's going on, y'all, man? It's your host, Jalen Heath. Tuned in to Breaking the Measurements. Special guest appearance in the building today. McKinley Nelson from the south side of Chicago. Founder of Project sWish. McKinley, what's going on, man?
Happy to be here, brother.
We have these icebreaker questions. It's 3 questions I'm going to ask you. I want you to be as honest and open as possible.
All right.
The first question is, one of your most embarrassing moments?
One of my most embarrassing moments. I've never told this story like publicly before, so. But I was in high school. I think I was a junior in high school. And I think like since I was a freshman, like I was working on this girl for like this really long time, right? But like I came into high school, I was like 4'11" when I got to high school.
Right.
So girls was getting that like, oh, you my little boyfriend, you know what I'm saying? Like, what, like trying to little bro me, but I got a little taller coming my junior year. So now I'm putting in like serious work. Like I'm in the DMs like heavy, faithfully with this girl. Finally got her to kick it with me, you know what I'm saying? I got her, we went to grab some ice cream, went to go chill in the park. We back at the crib at this point, and I'm upstairs, I'm chatting with her. Next thing you know, like you just hear, McKinley Kyle Nelson, like you and that young lady come downstairs right now. And so all those years and years of work kind of went to the trash, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to tell her like, no, I'm not a little boy, like, you know what I'm saying? I'm driving my car, like, I'm an adult, you know what I'm saying? You can come kick it with me, you can come over late night. Parents kicked her out. Never talked to me again, so that's probably most embarrassing.
Right. Next, we got your biggest fear.
Ooh. I feel like failure is everybody's biggest fear.
Right.
But I feel like that's, in a way, that's something I can control. A fear that I don't think I can control, probably losing somebody close to me.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of like, you know, the narrative what people go through, where we're from. But I just can't afford to like just keep taking L after L, you know what I'm saying? So I guess losing somebody else close to me is a big fear of mine.
100%. Last question. Biggest influence for you growing up?
I feel like my environment influenced me a lot.
Right.
But if we could put it to like a person, definitely my mom. No questions about it. Like superwoman, superhuman. Like anything that needs to be done, no matter how much she has on her plate or how much time it needs to be done, and she gets it done. And it's like incredible person to look up to.
What's your mom's name?
Sylvia Nelson Jordan.
Shout out to Sylvia Nelson Jordan. This is Breaking the Measurements. 6 months after your 21st birthday, you launched Project sWish Foundation. You launched it through a charity event where you gave out over 1,300 bags filled with school supplies to the youth in Chicago. Now, from your perspective, how does that make you feel?
I feel like, it's a bittersweet feeling for sure. Bitter in the sense of, I wish I would have came up with the idea sooner than 3 weeks.
Right.
Because if I'm able to raise funds to get 1,300 book bags filled with school supplies and t-shirts and gym shoes, water bottles and stuff in 3 weeks, you know what I'm saying? Imagine what I would have been able to do if I would have, you know what I'm saying,
Right.
come up with the idea prior to the 3 weeks. But sweet in the sense of, I go into a basketball gym and a kid tells me I gave him his first pair of Jordans, you know what I'm saying? So definitely a feeling, that I've never experienced before. They say like the best feelings in the world are when, you're selfless, you know what I'm saying? And you give for other people and you make other people happy. So it's kind of turned from like a side job or like a hustle or just wanting to give back to like, this is what I do now, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I feel like that event really like just changed me and it's molding me to who I want to become, so.
That's dope. So when you tell people you're from the south side of Chicago, what's the initial reaction?
If we're talking about like, if I'm at my school, like a PWI, we get a, do you know Chief Keef? Or do you know, G Herbo? But oftentimes they're like, you from Chicago, like the city, or like what suburb are you from? You know what I'm saying? As if like, I don't fit the norm or the criteria, what they hear about the south side of Chicago.
Right.
So it's always interesting. It's always an interesting conversation. It always leads to, is the south side really that bad?
Mm-hmm.
Things like that, or they just name their favorite Instagram girl, you know what I'm saying, from Chicago, or favorite Instagram rapper or whatever. But it's always some kind of negative connotation towards it or behind it.
So now you've had people that you've grown up with that's had it a lot worse than you, who had to go through harder really able to blossom into who they would have hoped to be. Now, Project sWish is a community thing. It's a place for everyone to kind of come together. Now, how important are those type of people to the Project sWish Foundation?
It's literally who I do it for. I would be at school, like studying or whatever, go kick with my boys on the weekend, out of town, do this, do that. Then I'll come back into Chicago, and like the boys that I grew up with were the exact same block, exact same neighborhood. And that's just really where like the passion of this started. Like, yo, I gotta do something. I gotta get these boys out of here. And as I was like thinking about it, but I was kind of like stalling with it, I ended up losing some of my boys. You get what I'm saying? Just from them being around, them being available, getting themselves in things that they shouldn't be involved in. So it's kind of become a lot more serious. Like, bro, like get on it. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm doing this, like I tell people all the time, like I started this foundation for selfish reasons, right? Not selfish in the sense of I want to make myself look good, but like from a personal standpoint, I don't want to lose anybody else that I'm close to. You know what I'm saying? And I don't really want anybody else to feel that same pain that I went through, because it took a complete toll on me.
That pain is different.
Yeah, it's different.
So in your opinion, what does the game of basketball teach you?
I picked up the basketball when I was 3. So like my entire life has kind of been devoted to basketball. Everything I know, everybody that I know is through basketball. All of my friends, like, I either played against or played with through basketball. Even like my roommate, you know what I'm saying? Like we were on the intramural basketball team together. You know what I'm saying? So it's taught me how to be, a team player for sure. Not even in the sense of like literally on the team, but just to be selfless. And I guess that's why I'm in this position I am right now. It gave me a sense of like brotherhood. You feel me? We talked about this earlier, but nobody loves you like your boys love you. You know what I'm saying? Like your girl can love you, your mom, your mama gonna love you, but when your brothers love you, you know what I'm saying? These are your peers, these are who you grew up with. It's a different kind of love. And I just felt like I always had that love on every team that I was in. So
100%. There's a lot of life lessons for sure that you learned through the game. Now for Project sWish, how big do you see it getting to where it's not an event anymore, it's not a tournament anymore, it's more so a shift, right, in the mentality of some of these children out there? Where do you see that?
For sure. I've been kind of stepping out of like my comfort zone lately with this foundation. For one, I could just speak on a personal standpoint. I took a semester off of school just to kind of like refocus and readjust on my mental health.
Right.
Just being, growing up in Chicago that we talked about, and I mentioned it earlier, just losing some of the guys that I was close to and seeing some things, it kind of made me like take a step back and just really like get my mental right, because your mental is your universe. Without your universe, you don't have anything. So to tie it back into the foundation, I actually did an event in Inglewood where we talked about mental health, and I used basketball to kind of get people to come in and really dive in and just really understand what we're talking about. So I got a WNBA player and I got an NBA player to come in, to those who were on the face of the flyer. When they got there, of course, they wanted to take their pictures, but you really had to sit down and listen to this panel and listen to what we're talking about and let you know, like, it's okay to be emotional. You know what I'm saying? It's okay to let things out, because when you let things build up within you, at some point you reach your breaking point. And I reached my breaking point last spring, and without my roommate and somebody else that was in Cincinnati that really cared about me, the story would have been a lot different. There wouldn't have been a Project sWish. You know what I'm saying? So really just I just want to just use basketball, something that the city loves. You know what I'm saying? To bring the city together to really talk about a more important issue. Or more important issues.
So 5 years ago, as a 17-year-old senior in high school at Whitney Young, would you say that you knew that you would be doing something like this?
Absolutely not. When I was 17, 18, even 19, I was trying to be an intern, or I was an intern for like NBA agencies. I thought I wanted to be an NBA agent.
Right.
Well, I did want to be an NBA agent. So I will always like look up to Rich Paul, because I'm really close with a few basketball players. And actually, I'll just say his name, Jalil. He's really done a lot for me, so I don't want to beat around the bush and say, I was really close with Jalil, so we talked about it, how every boys, group of boys talk about it, like, yo, this is gonna be your role and this is gonna be your role. You're gonna be the, so it was even a point at a time where I wanted to be a pilot, and he was like, bro, like, see if you can figure out a way to fly my team plane. You know what I'm saying? So everybody wanted to have a role, but I wanted to be an agent, so I was trying to shadow his agents. I was shadowing another local agent in Chicago, Ron Shade. Just really trying to learn like the game from a management standpoint or agency standpoint. And after a while, I was around the agency, the business in it. It just wasn't for me.
Right.
It's like a grimy business. You know, it's a hustle for sure. It's a lot of brown nosing in it. You feel me? That's just not the kind of person I am. I always had like a selfless spirit within me. So I just felt like, you know, I have this pain, like, and I have this selfless spirit. It doesn't make sense for me not to turn this pain into passion. So that's how the foundation came about.
So in just 3 weeks, like you just said, you was able to raise X amount of dollars for the charity event. Now, since the time of that event in last August, your next project comes up in May. Right. You've had 10 months. Just talk about the difference, right, in those processes.
Sure. 3-week process was, I was actually in Cincinnati I was taking summer classes at Xavier. And I was calling people with this idea, and I was like, yo, like I want to do this and I want to do that. They were like, yeah, like it sounds good. You know what I'm saying? And then I got like, so quick story. I was in Atlanta not too long ago. And I don't know if you heard of this spot called The Gathering Spot. It's like a social club, but it's like black owned by 2 young black dudes, right? And they were talking about how they were going door to door when they were trying to develop The Gathering Spot. And they said they got 27 no's before they got their first yes. Right? And now they have like the hottest stuff in Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? So it was kind of similar to that, where like I was calling people and they were like, yeah, it sounds cool. Like, I don't know if you got the juice to pull it off, or like, I don't know if you can get it done in 3 weeks. You know what I'm saying? But I finally got this one call, and shout out to True Star Magazine. I called Nate Thompson from True Star Magazine, and she was like, yo, I'm with it. I got 250 book bags for you right now. So I'm like, all right, we gone. You know what I'm saying? Like, we rolling. So call my boys like, yo, can you fly in? Can you fly in? Like, put it on the internet, have people share it. Can you contribute? We were pricing bags at $25. So $25 will cover the school supplies and the bag. You know what I'm saying? $25 from college students. My network was college students. They pitched in and we were able to make a difference, you know, and that's in 3 weeks, and that's just an idea. Now I have something like to show for, you know, I have like ways that I can show improvement, you know, from last year, because I've done it already. So I just have a lot of time. Nike's giving me a platform where I have more people that are interested in what I'm doing. So it shouldn't be 1,300 book bags. It should be, you know, something
way beyond that.
Yeah, astronomical. So I feel like time and just experience is just really the biggest difference from last August to this May, and then this coming August as well.
So now talk a little bit about sWish League.
Okay.
It premieres May 3rd.
Sure. So the league was developed as like an anti-violence kind of component, if that makes sense. So I did my research, and Thursday to Sunday in Chicago between 6 and 9 p.m. are when we have like the highest crime times for our peers. Right. So I'm like, yo, because every dude that I know that's in the streets, they used to hoop. You know what I'm saying? I talked about how all of my connections are through basketball. So I'm like, bro, like you used to hoop anyway. Just at some point you got disconnected from the game. You know what I'm saying? So if I can get you off of the streets and like the highest crime times where like the highest probability of something to happen to you, right, you know what I'm saying, get you to do something that you want to do, it doesn't make sense, you know, that the numbers can go down. It's almost inevitable. So it was almost just like this is my way of, you know, trying to save myself and save my boys, as I talked about earlier, is that selfish component that we talked about earlier. And so we developed a league in like some of the worst neighborhoods at the highest crime times. So we have Inglewood, you know what I'm saying, we have the West Side, you know, we have Far South Side. And we're just getting these guys off the streets, and everything is free. I'm at a point where like I'm calling, you know, people like, yo, can you make sure we have bus fare for these kids to get there? You know what I'm saying? Yo, can we make sure we have uniforms? Can we make sure we have shoes? Like, I don't want anybody to come out of pocket for anything. I literally just want you to get off the streets and come save your life and have a good time. You know what I'm saying?
So 2 things I think unite people: good food, right? And I think Chicago has both. Now, from the basketball standpoint, where do you rank Chicago basketball at right now?
I mean, I'm never gonna put it, you know, behind anybody else, behind any other city. I'm going number 1 Chicago, no matter what. It's just, I just feel like we're just a lot tougher than a lot of people. Even if we're not the most talented, you know, you look at guys like Patrick Beverly, who got Paul George on internet crying. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, and PG, if you see this, like, it's not, you feel me? I'm not dissing you. It's just a shout out to Chicago, but I just feel like we're a lot hungrier, and I'm just never gonna put that dog in second place. So I'm gonna put us number 1.
But do you feel like the good is overshadowed because of the people in Chicago or the media coverage that Chicago gets?
Absolutely. Um, I do not think the good people in Chicago get enough credit for sure. Um, but also a lot of times the bad is overshadowed too, in a sense where like people live their like entire lives and you know what I'm saying they do what they got to do and like a gunshot takes them away and they don't even make the news. You know what I'm saying? So it's just so much going on in a busy city like that where like a lot of things get overshadowed. So I don't want to just shine a light on like the good being overshadowed, but a lot of things are taken for granted within the city.
Now, I think every major city goes through their stretch of bad times, right? You can look at LA, you can look at New York, you can look at Baltimore. Now, it seems like Chicago's stretch has been for so long. Now, how is the negativity in Chicago impacted you or the people around you?
For sure. It's almost like it's all we know kind of thing. So I talked about how basketball is kind of people's meal ticket out, or like rapping is their meal ticket out. You know what I'm saying? And if we don't have that, it's almost like education isn't that big of an option. You get what I'm saying?
Yep.
So it's like, what else do I do? Like, let me hop in these streets. Like, let me get some money. You know what I'm saying? Like, let me be with my boys. So it's almost like the normal at this point.
Right.
So I don't think the negativity is really like considered negativity. It's just like
It's the norm.
it's what we do. You know what I'm saying? So
a theme of breaking the measurements is big picture. At this moment in your life, what would you say your big picture is?
I talked about this in the Nike interview, but my ideal goal, and I talked about like being selfish, but just other people can relate to this as well. Anybody that I shared like a basketball jersey with, like I don't want to be going to their funeral. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to use the game that we love and the game that we idolize because we have like these Jabari Parkers and these Anthony Davises and D Wades and Derrick Roses, Jaleel Okafor. You know, I can go on and on all day about these athletes that come out of Chicago, but everybody picks up the ball. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to shine more light on people who didn't make it pro, who didn't make it D1, and just let them know like people care about them as well. You know, and there's another way out of this than the streets.
So we talk about distractions all the time. Now, how do you maintain a focus and not be distracted as a normal 22-year-old? Like, how can you say, yeah, I'm going to have fun, I want to do this, but at the same time, I want to do it in the right way? Like,
sure.
How do you keep your focus?
Yeah, I'm not going to sit up here and act like I'm the most focused person in the world. I definitely have my fair share of fun, especially with me being, 22 and it's a real ID at this point. I'm taking full advantage of it when I'm going out. So it's just really just people behind me. I talked about my mom earlier, how she's a huge role model for myself. But every morning, no matter if I'm waking up at 7 or if I'm waking up at noon, I have a to-do list of texts. You know what I'm saying? You need to do this. You need to do this. So it's just her like keeping me busy, keeping me grounded. I just really say my support system is what really keeps me focused. And yeah,
that's big.
Yeah,
a lot of people don't have that. So shout out to those who support McKinley.
Yeah.
The people you want to impact, the youth, your role model, your neighborhood hero. Taking on a challenge of something that's way bigger than you, way bigger than me, right? Right now, what would you tell that 13-year-old, 14-year-old who's in between? I want to do things the right way, but at the same time, this is what they're telling me that I'm supposed to be doing.
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like, and people say this all the time, numbers don't lie, right? So the chances of you having like a longer, more successful life are a lot slimmer if you go this route than you go this route. You know what I'm saying? So not even in a sense, because I'm not a perfect person. You feel me? Like I have my fair share of mistakes, and I still do silly stuff as well. But the route I'm taking is the opposite route of where a lot of my boys are taking. You know what I'm saying? And for me, even to be, in New York City with you getting this recognition, my boys aren't getting that because they took that route. You know what I'm saying? So I want to say like leading by example has been my biggest pitch. I do have fun, as we talked about, but I'm not posting it on the internet. Like you'll never see me with an Insta snap in the club anymore. You know what I'm saying? Because I know that people are looking. So I just really just feel like if you want a longer, like more successful route, you should probably just go the positive route because there's two places you can end up on the other side, and we know what those two are. So
100%. So through everything right now, where does McKinley find his most joy?
I would much rather just kick it with a young lady than.
There you have it, man.
You feel me? Besides, like after I did all of my work, after I took care of the community, did everything for the foundation. But as far as my list of wants or hobbies, kicking it with a girl is.
I feel you. So I thank you, man. I thank you for being a guest at the podcast. I mean, you big time, right? Whether you touch one life or a million life, the fact that you took on that challenge, right? You already ahead of the game. You doing things that not even myself is doing. It's people that's around you that hadn't thought about doing, right? So it's big for you. And it's big for the city of Chicago.
Appreciate you, man.
McKinley Nelson, South Side of Chicago, Project Swish. As always, I'm your host, Jalen Heath. This is Breaking the Measurement.